Everyone, and welcome to another episode of Bible Illustrated Hands. Today's question comes from Houston Burnside. He asks, what are your thoughts on Vladimir Putin? Thank you for the question, Houston. And it should come to no surprise to anyone that I'm not a huge fan of Vladimir Putin. Why? Personally, this is a bit of a rant, and you probably got this from my other videos, but I'll just sum it up all here. I'm generally not a fan of worldly power, and yes, we should have some sort of worldly power, because literally any kind of worldly power is better than anarchy, so better have anything than nothing. However, I'm still not a fan of it. I'll complain and grumble, but go along with it, because in the case of Vladimir Putin, I personally consider him a dictator, and I don't think that dictators are a good thing. But I do have in mind that I actually wanted to say sometimes, but occasionally, quite often, it's better to have a competent dictator than incompetent democracy. So, I don't know if that is the case with Russia. A lot of fans of Vladimir Putin are fans because of he's in good standing with the church and everything. But again, personally, I'm not a huge fan of secular leaders being on good terms with the church. I don't mind if they're personally on good terms, but there you always have the issue of the dictator doing it, just to gather some popular support, and for himself. And also the issue of church having a lot of secular powers in her hands, which is the last thing that the church should do. I think that such political power of the church weakens the church enormously. It is less of what it should be whenever it wields worldly power, and that is why Christ has constantly forbade demons and healed people to tell other people that he is Christ, because he knew perfectly well what will happen, and that is that the people will try to crown him, make him a king, and so on, and he would have none of that. So that is those are some of my opinions. Again, I don't think it is one of the worst things in the world. It definitely isn't. With the crazy left shenanigans, I think that those are worse than, some mild right-wing shenanigans of Russia, even if it's a dictatorship, I don't think that we will ever have anything resembling a perfect government or a perfect ruler, and I don't mean just, a person that pleases everyone. I know that thing is impossible. I just mean that we are all fallen humans, and we form fallen collectives, whether it's the cabinet of ministers, whether it's the Senate, the Congress, the upper and lower houses of the parliament, whatever you call them. We are bound to have mistakes, and the power of God does not manifest in the worldly power. God can use it for great good, but that is not where the power of Christ ultimately resides. It resides in the cross. The issue I have with the fans of Vladimir Putin is that I often feel that these types would like for the church to have more secular power, and I think that is very problematic. So that shapes my personal opinion of Vladimir Putin. Bye.